a 9th century inscription on the Pillar of Eliseg in eastern Wales reveals that this area had once been ruled by a king named Vortigern, and in the Arthurian story, Vortigern is a direct predecessor of King Arthur. 1500 years ago, when Arthur is said to have lived, Britain was divided into separate feuding kingdoms. The pillar stands in what had been the kingdom of Powys in the heart of the country, and its capital was the old Roman city of Viroconium, the principal city of all Britain during the 5th century. Its ruins still survive in fields just outside the village of Wroxeter in the county of Shropshire. If Vortigern had ruled from here in the late 400s, then so presumably had his successors, one of which, according to legend, was King Arthur himself. Recent archaeological excavations have revealed that around the year 500 AD, Viroconium was massively refortified. But these new defences were not the grandiose stone fortifications of the Roman era, but the more practical wooden stockades of the post-Roman period. However, a magnificent stone building was constructed at the heart of the city. Archaeologists determined that it was the residence of the powerful king who ruled here around the year 500. Could this have been the historical King Arthur? This ancient royal palace was not a cold Gothic castle of the later Middle Ages, but a lavish, luxurious Roman-style villa. So, are these the ruins of the historical Camelot? Nestling amongst the misty hills to the west of Viroconium is Lake Bala. Here, on its wind-swept banks, there stood an ancient monastic community of simple stone huts, and in one of them, in the mid-600s, there lived a reclusive poet. His name was Laiwach, and he wrote a poetic saga concerning the early kings of Powys, whose capital was at Viroconium. Remarkably, this work still survives at the Bodleian Library in Oxford. Called The Song of Laiwach the Old, this 1400-year-old saga contains one of the oldest surviving references to King Arthur, and it tells us that Arthur was indeed a king of Powys. Viroconium is the most historically feasible site from which the legend of Camelot arose. It was the largest, most sophisticated, and most heavily defended city archaeology has yet uncovered anywhere in Britain from the period Arthur is said to have lived, and the Pillar of Eliseg and the Song of Laiwach the Old imply that centuries before the Arthurian story we know today was compiled, Arthur was thought to have ruled from here.